Hey everyone, this is Patrick, and I am back to do some first reactions. I listened to 5 releases that came out on December 1st. I think one of the albums might have come out on November 30th, but you know what I'm saying. New releases come out usually on Fridays, and I am covering the weekend, the week of releases that covers December 1st, 2023. So, right now I am planning to not include any December releases in my top 40 albums of 2023, but because of that, I wanted to at least get to a few first reactions regarding releases of this month because there's still some good music to showcase, and even if I don't like some of these releases, you might like them. So, let's go on. Let's do this. So, I listened to Demon Sea's Black Star Gnosis. Uh, Demon Sea is a 5 piece. They currently are in Seattle, Washington. This release came out in Dark Descent Records. This band actually began in 1989. This is their 6th full length. So I have listened to some previous Demon Sea, and I like the vocals that you get from Ixithra. The music is primitive, raw, second wave sounding black metal, but it does have good production. So it somehow combines this raw feeling with better production than you would usually find with kind of raw black metal. Uh, Similar sounding bands, maybe Profanatica, I think about. Father Befouled, even though Father Befouled is a death metal band. Very dark atmosphere that Demon Sea create here on this 6th full length. But I will say, so this is 9 tracks, 34 minutes and 39 seconds of music, but a third of this, including the first song and the last song, a third of the runtime are these ambient mood setting pieces that don't do very much. That's a huge chunk of this album, and then you get 6 tracks of monochromatic, straightforward, not very memorable black metal. So I'm gonna have to give this a 7 out of 10. I did actually listen to it twice to make sure that just to see if I was missing something, and yeah, not really into this album very much, but I couldn't give it less than a 7 because if you're into this style, I think this is one of the sort of one of the early sort of artists that came up with this style, or that at least presented this style, to the masses. So, Demon Sea, Black Star Gnosis gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Next up is a collaboration album from the bands Full of Hell and Nothing, and it is called When No Birds Sang. 6 tracks, almost 34 minutes of music. This came out on Closed Casket Activities. Full of Hell are from Maryland and Pennsylvania, and Nothing are from Philadelphia. So, if you know what these bands sound like, Full of Hell is a grindcore, death grind, hardcore band. Nothing is a shoegaze band. Full of Hell likes to do a lot of collaboration albums. In fact, this is their second collaboration album of the year. Their previous one was with Primitive Man, and this is their 7th collaboration overall. So, Full of Hell channel actually Primitive Man or somebody like Body Void here on this first track. My problem with this collaboration is I don't really think that there's a lot of momentum, and then it's crushed and it's killed by sort of these ambient parts of the songs that are spliced with sort of local news clips or, national news clips. And that's kind of the shoegazy aspect of this. A lot of promise. I like this better than a lot of Full House collaboration albums. I don't know very much about Nothing, so this project's not exactly for me in terms of, being excited for the Nothing part of this collaboration. Decent. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 7.1 out of 10. Okay, next up is a band I had never heard of until recently. This is Embrace Your Punishment with Made of Stone. The killer artwork here is actually why I checked it out. This album came out on Lacerated Enemy Records. This is Embrace Your Punishment's third full length. They are from France. They play slam, brutal death metal, and deathcore. This album is 12 tracks, 35 minutes and 44 seconds of music. There's some guest vocal performances on this album. You get Jason from Misery Index on track 3, you get Kirk from Crowbar on track 6, and you get Julian from Benighted on track 10. So if you like hardcore, think of Jesus Wept, think of Knocked Loose. If you like brutal death metal, think of Dying Fetus, Benighted. And yeah, so this is, dumb, crushing, cleanly produced, brutal death metal / deathcore. I do actually enjoy this album. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. So 2 more to go, and these are my 2 favorite albums of the week. Varathron with The Crimson Temple came out on Agonia Records. This is a black metal band from Greece. This is their 7th full length. They have been around since 1988. There is a lot going on in this album. Cleanly produced, nicely produced, a very nice sounding album. I do see this as a melodic black metal album, though they throw in some traditional metal, they throw in some speed metal. They have the kind of echoey reverb sound on the drums that you hear in other sort of speed metal and trad metal bands. So they're not very tight. The toms sound loose. The vocal style actually is powerful, and the vocals remind me of Nurgle from Behemoth or Sulfur Eon. I hear some melodic death metal throughout this album as well. I hear Cadaver. I hear Horrendous and sort of energy and confidence. This is a cool album. This basically, fits right there in my sort of first tier of my top 40 if this was going to be, if this ends up being an album that I go back to, this would have, this is in my top 50 albums of the year then. So this is Varathron, The Crimson Temple, and I give this an 8 out of 10. And last up is a band that came out of nowhere, Abyssal Rift with Extirpation Dirge. This is out on Sentient Ruin Laboratories. This is a death doom project from Columbus, Ohio. They give you 6 tracks, almost 37 minutes of music here on their debut full length. Don't know anything about them. This is their first. There's not a demo. There's not an EP. This is their first release into the world. It's a 2-piece. So we have Matt on guitars, bass, vocals, and keys. He's in industrial projects such as Sixth Circle and Ash Prison. So you do hear some industrial coming in on this. So here's what I hear when I hear Abyssal Rift. Spectral voice, incantation, fossilization, and then they're also influenced by 1960s, 1970s prog rock, such as Goblin and King Crimson. So you get atmospheric, tremolo heavy riffs, cleanly produced yet noisy death doom. There's screaming guitars, very cool guitar work, Blood Incantation, Tomb Mold, might be some other bands that if you like what they have, if you like their music, you might like Abyssal Rift. I love this release. I've listened to it twice. This is an 8.5 out of 10 for me. Sentient Ruin puts out a lot of variety, but also, they tend to like that war metal sound. They tend to like a bit noisier influences in their acts, and that's what you get here. Abyssal Rift, it is death doom, it is heavy. There's some unique flourishes that Matt brings to this band that I like a lot. 8.5 out of 10. There you have it. These were the releases that I got to so far that came out on December 1st, 2023. Let me know what you think about these albums in the comment sections. What have you been spinning? Yeah, thanks for watching as always, and remember to stay heavy. Bye.